Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for coming and tuning in. Hello, I am Lewis Porter Jr., and today we're going to talk about an incredibly controversial topic that happens a lot more than publishers want to really tell you, but it does happen. So today we're going to talk about imagine an artist shows you their portfolio, but it's not their artwork. What happens next? So just to let you know, this happens a whole lot more than you can imagine. Just recently, it happened to me in two different situations. But before I get into that, I know a lot of you are like, what are you talking about? What do you mean the artist submits some work that isn't his? So a lot of times will happen, you'll get approached or you'll send out a thing looking for new artists, and then an artist will approach you with their portfolio. You take a look at their portfolio, you look at their artwork, and you go, hey, this kind of fits what I'm looking for. This is perfect. So you're talking over the artist agrees, and boom, you make a deal. The artist may submit artwork to you. Maybe some stuff you've asked for, maybe some stuff you didn't ask for, depending how it is, and depending who they are. And you get the artwork back, but when you're looking, it's like, wow, this is really good artwork, but it looks different from the artwork they originally submitted. Or even worse, it doesn't look as good as the artwork they originally submitted. One of the most popular ones that I know about this personally was all our buddies over at Blue Devil Games back in the early 2000s. They were putting together a game called Dawning Star. It was written by another writer they know very well, Lee Hammock, and the art from it was done by this gentleman who I'll never forget his name. I'll never forget his name. His name was Gary Simpson, but his nickname was Hive, so it's Gary Hive Simpson. I'll never forget that name. And he put together some artwork for them, and they put some ads out about what they were doing, what they're planning, and the art was amazing. I mean, it was amazing. And I kept looking at the artwork, but for some reason, I couldn't put my finger on why it looked familiar. And I'm like, I don't know what it is. Something about it looks really familiar. So, the art comes out, more and more people start looking at it. Well, in the middle of production of this thing, it gets revealed that Gary Hive Simpson had taken artwork from Travis Charest, who's a well-known comic artist. He did a lot of work in the 90s, in the mid-90s, and he'd been doing some stuff online for himself, but he had a very, very specific style. And that was a style that I kept remembering that I couldn't put my finger on where I'd seen it before. And it came out that this guy had taken a lot of Travis's work, put it up there as his own, mashed it and photoshopped and manipulated and attached it to this project. So here we got this project where somebody's stolen someone else's artwork and try to pass it off on their own and try to get paid for that. Let's just say it didn't turn out well. And, I said, I haven't heard from about Gary Hype Simpson in years. I always wondered what happened to him. Because, he presented himself as an artist. He really did. And his stuff was beautiful. I don't know to call him an artist to be correct. Photo manipulator is the best way. Art thief really is what he was. But, and this, like I said, apparently this happens more and more. And just recently, even to me, I have had like 3 instances happen in the last 6-7 months. And the first one was an artist I picked up. I saw his artwork. I liked it. I was like, but still it wasn't 100%. He's like, no, I can do the work for you. Send me a sample, the picture you do of my character, and let me see. He sent the sample. The sample was great. It was really top notch, exactly what I wanted for. Perfect. And then I hired him for 2 more pieces. And the first piece he did not look as good. It really didn't look as good. There was a noticeable difference in the quality of work. And I was like, okay, all right, well, maybe there's something wrong. Maybe it's a bad day off. And then I did him for one more picture, and this picture was worse than that one. And that's when I was like, yeah, there's something wrong here. This doesn't seem right. He's like, oh, no, what are you talking about? I can redo it. I'm like, yeah, this quality is not look the same. He's like, oh, no, it's the same artist. It's the same artist. Look, I'm a graphic designer. I've been doing it for 30 years. I got enough experience dealing with artists. That was not the same person. The original guy was probably somebody who did the original piece of art. The following ones he was just going to do and make money off and still charge the same price. That turned out bad. And I was like, wow, that was kind of ridiculous. And, so I got burned. But I paid the man for his work because that's what I do. No matter what, I'm going to walk away looking good. But, anybody's ever asked me about him, I haven't blown up his name in public. It's not me to do so. But, anybody asked me, have you used this guy? I'm like, yeah, I worked with this guy. This is what happened. I'll tell you. That's not my job. My job isn't to make him feel bad about what he's done. He's done what he's done. He'll never work with me. I'll tell anybody I know who's worked with him, don't work with that guy. He's because of this reason. But I'm not going to just blast them. That's not what I do. That's not what I do. That's not how I handle it. And then recently I had two more people kind of do it. Like one, I sent out a couple looking for artists. It must be like 2 or 3 months ago. Got another guy, quality of his work, really good, but it was too good. It was too good for what he was asking. And it really was just, oh no, it was too good. And it just didn't look right. Find out later it wasn't his artwork, and I'm just like, okay, dude. And I found it out, and I was like, dude, why would you do that? He's like, oh, I just want the job. I'm a really good artist. And it's like, dude, I can't even trust you now. I can't trust you. And my last guy basically the same exact thing. But what made his even worse, the artwork he tried to represent was someone who was doing work for Marvel, and he used a Silver Surfer piece as like one of his showpieces. And I was like, and the price he wanted was ridiculous. I mean, not like in a bad way. I mean, we're talking a really well done, fully rendered picture that would be easily $200. Not even blink an eye, $200. That would be real. That'd be realistic. He wanted like $30 for, and I'm like, yeah, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. And so, I'm one of those guys. I'll pay you what is reasonable, but I knew this artwork was too good for $30. It's like, nah, there's something wrong here. Something doesn't seem right. Checked into it, found out it was a piece by another artist who works for Marvel, who's been doing some projects. And then this guy was like, and this all happened within the course of like 30 minutes. I got the artwork, I got the stuff. I was like, really cool. And then I started looking for it, like I said, and I found out who owned it, who the real artist was. And I wrote the guy back. I'm like, hey, are you sure this piece is yours? He was like, oh yeah, that's definitely mine. I'm like, well, okay. Since I found the artist who this belongs to, you can just tell me, you made a mistake, it was a problem like that. And this is, we're going back and forth in emails. And this is like one of the emails towards the end of it. And I was like, you can just come and admit that, hey, it's wrong. I'll just say, hey, but let it go. It was a mistake. No problem. I'm like, I'll give you 5 minutes to respond. And I showed him where I got the picture from. And I sent it to him. Like 20 minutes later, he comes back and goes, oh, no, that's not my artwork. I was just showing you some stuff I'm capable of. And because it's like, I'm like, dude, I gave you 5 minutes to answer. I don't want to hear anything else. You stole someone else's artwork. You put your name on it. You try to pass it off on yours. I don't have to work with you. I'm good. I'm good. I don't have to work with you. You go your way. I go my way. And I always think to myself, it's like how, I mean, artwork's one of those things that you can tell an artist's work very quickly. So why are you going to waste time trying to lie to people about the quality of work you're doing? That's just stupid. We're going to find out. And if we find out we've given you money, we're going to be pissed. And, certain people, will be like, hey, you know what? Keep the money. I see you in public. I'm going to pass you in the mouth. That happens. I'm not saying I would do that, but I'm just saying some people will act that way. Some people will badmouth you forever. It's just silly to me that someone would think it'd be a good long-term plan to get in the industry by lying about your skill levels and abilities. And it's like, it's not like you can hide this stuff. It's going to catch up. And if we catch up, and you could have easily done the right thing from the get-go, we wouldn't probably be so mad. But that's not what happened. So this little warning for all you people out there who are doing and looking for artists and finding them and saying, oh, what a good artist, what I found. Be careful. Not everybody who says they are is actually that person. Make sure you check their work, look at other resources, find out other people who've worked with them, get references. Nothing wrong with getting references, especially if someone you're going to try to pay them money. And, it's really that simple. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Do us a huge favor below. Click the like button if you like us. Pick the dislike if you disliked. Please feel free to comment. We love talking about stuff, so we're very excited about stuff like this. And as always, thank you for your support. I'll talk to you all later.